All right, I'm going to do a play and explain. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, so hopefully that fixes itself and that our HUDs start working and all that. Playing 25 in L, 2 tables. I want to keep it at 2 tables because I want to be able to focus on what's happening. And a few things that we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for limpers. We're going to be looking for weird opening sizes. So right off the bat, I'm going to tag this player as blue for, that was interesting. Uses 3.4 open size from UTG. And I just want to keep an eye on this to see if they continue doing this. And then this player flats from the small blind, which might be interesting. I'm not going to tag him green yet. I'm assuming, and this board just smashes their range. So yeah, they might be doing that kind of wide. And this player calls. So I think it's very possible this player had like ace queen or king queen or something. Interesting. Okay, so I think that's a little bit wide. I'm going to tag him green. I think that's a very passive action. We'll have to see some more. Maybe they have a reason for that. What did this player end up having? They called in the big blind. Oh, good. We're not allowed to see showdown because ignition is buggy. So we are going to be a little bit handicapped there. Okay, and now we have a limper here. And this player ISO raises. Oh wait, this is this player 1, this is player 2. Our HUDs aren't aligned yet. Actually, I think that's the same thing over here, player 3. Let's go ahead. This happens in the first couple of hands. So we want player 4. I'm going to tag this player to be a little bit passive. We want to untag this player. This is player 6. Oops, and now it's in the right spot. So we want to tag this player as blue and say opens to 3.4 from under the gun. And now we can untag this player. So this is a thing that yeah, trips me up kind of regularly. So reggie open size 2.5. We get 2 limpers. Let's go ahead and tag this player as a limper. Then we're going to ISO raise to 6, given that we have 2 limpers, and we're going to be out of position. Charge them to see the flop. 7-8 suited. We are going to be opening, folding to a 3-bet. Happy to take this heads up versus a passive player. And now we're playing multi-way. We definitely have the range advantage here. But multi-way, we're going to be checking quite a bit. And this is a hand that I think we're probably just giving up. There's not many runouts where we're going to get, where we're going to feel good. Like even if we get a 9 here and hit our straight, any queen makes a straight. And so we're going to fold. Over here, queen 9 versus an open, we're just going to be folding that from the small blind. We can either defend or raise for polar sizing from the big blind. And yeah, what happened with this hand? Okay, so king jack. They bet a little bit over half pot. And they called with queen jack. Okay. I don't know if there's, I think we can say that this player, we didn't see what they ended up having at showdown, which is too bad. This player is flatting in the cutoff. We are going to be calling with our 7s. Especially after seeing that this player might be a little bit too aggressive, and this player should be calling pretty wide behind, which makes it a little bit harder to navigate to showdown for free with 7s and be good. But I think this sizing makes no sense. I think we've seen them use big sizings, but before in multi-way pots they were passive when they didn't hit. So this does feel like it might be an overpair or like ace-king. And we do have some backdoor value. We aren't blocking any of our 7-6 suited, which I think if we were going to make this even close, but I think typically we just believe them that they have a big hand and we fold. I don't know if they are doing that with aces, I'm not sure, but we can write that this player uses big sizes, but we don't know how to make a read. But at equilibrium, we are just going to be folding that. Over here, we're going to raise it up to 9.5. This player looks pretty reggy. And I am going to defend the king 2 versus the open. I think this might be a little bit too wide versus a 3.0 sizing. They should be c-betting pretty wide. It's not great to not have either a spade or a diamond, though we will be. So I think they should be going about two bigs here with pretty close to range. I think we are c-betting over here 100%. And I think this is a sizing error. I'm not sure. Maybe the solver likes this. But I'm just going to go ahead and fold. Even versus a 2 size, I'm probably going to be folding the king 2 and once they start sizing up. So I'm not sure that we can say that they have sizing errors there, but it certainly, I haven't seen many spots where the solver wants to go big. We're going to choose our 4x sizing with 10s in the small blind. I'm going to go more polar from the big blind, but here we're going to be doing, some just like 4x raising. Ace 4, this player's calling a lot, which actually makes me want to open this less, just because this is kind of a bluffy hand even from the button. Ace 4 is a mix, and once they start calling, we're going to be losing value from rake. Like, we're not going to be winning big pots versus worse ace x, so we can't exploit their calling tendencies. This is going to be a big bet board in general. I use a small c-bet strategy. This player should be green, and this actually, they should have a pretty wide range here, which means that we'll be able to get some protection. We don't pick up. I like this as a barrel. I think we should. I mean, it kind of sucks to have the heart here because we're blocking some of their draws. But I'm gonna overbet here. I think this is a great semi-bluffing hand. So we're gonna go 150x, 1.5x pot, and they snap min raise us. And against 2 pair, we only have like 8%. Against a pair, we have 10 out, so 20%. And we are doing pretty good against a draw. We are blocked. I think with this queen of hearts, we can probably fold. And plus just population tendencies, and against a passive player, I think we can probably just let this one go. This is close, but I think that, I think we can probably just let this go. I think they have a lot of king 10 here, which we're just not doing great against. 8-7 could be a call. We can also raise it. We pick up a gutter and a backdoor flush draw. This is a great check raising hand. I think they're probably going to be c-betting too wide here. We're going to have Jack-9 off here. We are going to have pocket 4s. We're going to have Jack-4 suited. We're going to have like some 9-4 suited. Though maybe not against a 3x sizing. We don't have any Jacks or 9s. And obviously we have flush draws. So So we're gonna raise this. We don't pick up our turn equity. This 3 shouldn't really change anything. I don't think we're doing this with pocket 3s or 4-3. Yeah, I do have this player tagged green, but I actually haven't seen him limping, so I might amend that. But I think, again, we have plenty of hands that can barrel off here. And maybe hearts isn't the best combination to do with this. So this might be a check. And yeah, and that ace, I don't know if they're calling a ton of ace high. We can be doing this with overs. But I think after we raise and then check, this ace doesn't change anything. I think this is just a good give up hand. We didn't pick up any of our turn equity that we were hoping for. So I'm going to remove this green tag. Just because the very beginning of their... okay, over here we open Jack-9 suited. We do flop bottom pair with some backdoors. This isn't a particularly strong hand. We do have a range advantage. We do pick up a lot of outs here. And with the bottom pair, I'm pretty happy just trying to realize our equity and then maybe check raising if we need to. We are, of course, going to have Queen Jack. Over here, we're going to go to our 4x sizing with King Queen off. And I like just a small bet on the river. We're just going to block. Blockers are super important. So in multi-way, we're going to be choosing a smaller sizing. And we're just trying to get calls from worse or maybe induce a raise. And we're just up against a jack here a lot, so I'm just going to call. Yeah. Don't want to try to pay any more rake there. And folding here. They go big. This is a sizing mistake. I don't know how to exploit it, but sizing mistake leads big on monotone board. So this is bad for their range. So I'm assuming they are going to... So I'm going to mark this player as a fish. So it's just blue. I'm assuming that they are not doing this in a balanced way, and they're either over bluffing that spot or they are over value betting that spot. Here, king high, I am happy checking. Against a passive player, our king high can win quite a bit. And so green is passive here. They snap check, which makes me think I probably have the best hand. Maybe they have an ace. And... just going to check one more time. Fold to a river bet. Okay, they had a 2. Nice. They defended the 7 deuce from the big blind, which, yeah, I don't think we need to update our, yeah. We already have them tagged as green. Okay, so this player uses a weird open size, so we can write that sizing tells. Sizing tell opens to 4.5 BBs. See, what else are we seeing here? Any limpers? this player leads. This player calls big oak. Okay, so they call king queen off in small blind. Lead on king x, king, what was it, king 9x. Okay, so this player gets tagged blue. Well, I think we can tag that as passive. Even though they raised, they are like really part of the passive thing is when they make a hand, they're still going to be betting. And this player made a hand to start betting, but they played very passively pre-flop. Against that big sizing, maybe it's fine, but I think that the overall like leading out on that board from the small blind into multiple players is a very passive fish style of playing, and I think we can just tag them as green and maybe update that prior as we go forward. This is a min raise from the small blind, so this player is definitely a fish, and maybe they min clicked, but they made a sizing mistake before. Min raise 2.5 BB open. It's not quite a min raise, it's a little bit bigger, but we're never folding here. We're never folding for this size. And this player is calling. We do have top pair. I want to be a little bit careful against this player. I think top pair we definitely want to bet here. There's a lot of turns we're not going to like to see. I'm going to choose... yeah, I'm going to go probably about 1/5 pot. I think we can get called by 10x. They could absolutely have king jack type hands. We're probably folding to a raise, but and they can have overpairs as well. Do they lead here? I don't know why they would lead here. I'm probably not folding to a lead. That would be pretty random. And I think this player will pay off too much with like 10x. So we're going to bet small again and just really try to milk this player for all they're worth. And we can be up against better I think, do they play aces or kings this way? I'm just going to bet small again. I'm just going to try to milk them. And if they raise on us, we might end up finding the fold. Though they could be doing this with like jack 9. I'm not sure how much they're 3-betting jack 9. They could also have king queen here. I think that makes a lot of sense that they have king queen there quite a bit. We are blocking that. Or maybe even ace king. And maybe we should have gone bigger on earlier streets. I'm not sure, but when they check, I think they're going to play face up. I think they had a good hand pre-flop. Play face up, question mark. Okay, how are things going over here? Looks like, yeah, so this player, I mean, this is just an easy fold. If they were super tight, I'd consider trying to steal their blind, but they look like they are maybe a little bit on the passive side. I haven't seen them limp, but they're V-pipping 24% versus pre-flop raising 8%. This player, I'm going to mark him orange. That means reg. I haven't seen, I've just been seeing their pre-flop open sizes, and their VPIP PFR is pretty tight, tightly coupled. Like this player looks like they also, let's see, they've limped once, but they've limped with others once. This could be either a raise or a fold. I have this player tagged as green, but I'm going to untag. Their stats aren't really looking like that lines up, and I don't have any reads on why that would be. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to 7.5. I think this can be a 3-bet. This escalated very quickly. So this player, even though they have limped once, it's been over limping against somebody else. I didn't see the exact hand, but I'm not going to let that count against them. I actually need a stat that's like limped without over limping. I need to create one because I think that's pretty important. Like if you are, like this stat is not open limping. It's just anytime you call the big blind, even if 3 other people have done it before you. This is the kind of player profile that will lead. We are going to fold to a lead unless it's like for one big, because that often correlates with a pair. There are draws on this board, but now again, this is normally going to be a big sizing. I think over 4 hands, we're seeing that they've limped one of 2 chances that they got, and there was an open limp. Could have been in the small blind, but they're in the small blind now, so it couldn't have been. So this means that they're probably too passive, which means they probably have too many hands here, which means I think I can c-bet small and get them to fold a big chunk of their range. And so I am going to just be c-betting range here. There's a lot of continues that they should have here that I think fold, like backdoor stuff. And versus a small blind, king 7 is a call. We can't even be 3-betting this. I'm going to go ahead and call here. And we do bink the ace on the river. We're going to be calling a bet here, and we are going to be putting in a thin value bet if they c-bet small. I'm going to go, I think they have a lot of missed draws here, but I am going to just go small on the river. With some backdoor equity, I think we can probably fold our king highs here. This is a small bet. We're playing in position, though. I'm going to call 1, and just like that, we bink it. This king should largely miss me, and that's because this call was a mistake. And so I think they can c-bet a lot of their 10x. And I think they have a lot of 10x here. They could have some better king x that c-bet, but I think a lot of their king x is checking. It's hard to tell. I don't know if this player is good or not. I'm just going to call. I don't think they should be double barreling with their 3x, and that should slow them down. This is going to let me bet. And again, I'm doing a lot of thin river betting in position. This is because I'm assuming that most of my opponents are fish. And this isn't even particularly thin. I'm going to do, I guess there's more king. They're going to have more 10x here, I think, than king x. So I'm going to try to get called by a 10. I'm going to go 70%. This might be a little bit big. I'm going to tag that for review. I'm not totally sure, even though I used kind of like a more polar sizing, I was kind of thinking that as a thin value bet, but against a somewhat insensitive range. And I don't know if that was right. So even though it's a thin value bet, I think it's profitable to go small, and it's also profitable to go big. I think basically the same hands are calling. But that just might not be true. So I might have misplayed that spot. All right, let's take a little sneak peek. What's a little sneak peek? That's what I'm trying to say. A little sneak peek. What am I trying to say? I don't know. Let's look at, I just want to go through and see if there's been any updates to people's VPIPs. So this player is limping 50%. That's still only 1 out of every 2. I'm just calling here versus their min raise. With a diamond, I think we're just calling unless they just start blasting off. And I like betting small for protection. And by protection, I mean, I think we have the best hand here quite a bit. They're going to have a lot of overcards. We can get called by ace x a diamond with a with a single diamond, the ace of diamonds. So I think we have, we're able to, even if we're not getting folds from hands that have equity against us, we are protecting our EV. We're protecting our pot share by making them commit money when they still don't have the best hand. My definition of protection is a little bit different than what most people think about it. I think the thing with protection, people want to. I've heard people. This is a common mistake I've heard from people where they say, "I bet for protection, but this player's a fish, and so I don't think I get folds." Well, that's even better. The reason that you bet for protection is because people. It would be a mistake for them to call. So you're assuming that they're playing correctly. It's better for them to fold, King 9 offsuit on a Jack 5-3 rainbow than it is for them to call. Now, if they call and you have a weak hand, right? They are, sure, they have equity against you, but they paid more than a premium price to see it, to realize it. So anyway, I think the traditional view of protection is a little imperfect. I mean, it certainly has its place, but I think we want a slightly more complicated view of it, which is to say, I have a certain amount of expected value, and I am betting now to make hands that have equity against me either have to fold, which is a traditional form of protection, or pay a premium to realize their equity against me. And so I'm actually protecting my expected value, not my equity. Snap shove, 9-10 versus aces. Yeah, this player is. Think that was. I mean, I get it. You're never folding. You're calling all in on the river. Might as well call all in before you're. Maybe that actually makes sense. But just that snap shove shows kind of like a. What happened here? They called 9-10 the big blind. Yeah, okay, all standard. Raise when they hit the 9. I think that's incorrect. So they raise when they hit their pair plus draw. And I think that's not correct. Turns second pair plus draw. Plus draw. Raises. I think that is incorrect. So again, don't know what we're going to do with that. But it's just a thing to note. I really wish we could see showdown, because this player's min raised a couple of times. They've gone to that 5 big blind sizing when they 3-bet. We have a new player anyway, so it's moot. This player overbets. I'm not sure. Do we get to overbet on flush boards when the flush comes in the river? Just because blockers matter a lot more? I'm not really sure. And they do over limp. We are going to. So this player, I think this player posted though. They didn't limp. We're folding to a bet here. We do pick up a pair. We're going to call one. And I am going to bet small here. I think we have the best hand. We can get called by worse. We can get called by draws. I think a queen would have bet by now. I think that's a great spot to bet real small. Try to. I do think we call a raise there. I don't think there's a lot of hands that are better than us that are in anyone's range that raise there. So we're going to be going to our 10 sizing with Queen Jack suited. This is a great 3-betting hand. Fold to a 4-bet. Especially, I haven't seen this player 3-bet yet pre-flop. 3-8. They're min betting. We might even have equity. Like, this looks so ugly. Our pair outs might be good. Do we have 23% equity here? I'm not sure. I'm going to fold, but this might be a call. We have some backdoors, but to some really shitty hands. This player calls. This is a standard big bet spot. I'm just going to pot it. We're short, so I'm going to 70% it. I want to, so if we go 3.65, we're going to have 11, 12. Then we have about 2x pot left on the river. By going a little bit smaller, we preserve some of our fold equity on turns. I think once they're that short, once they start committing a good chunk of their stack, they're unlikely to fold on turns. So we preserve a little bit of leverage. We, if we're going to blast off on turns, we're still going to pay off the top of their range. But we're letting lower parts of their range come along. And with this hand in particular, I'm not sure if I'm always using that sizing. I'm not sure what my general sizing is there. Against fishy players, I'm not really trying to have I'm really just trying to play my hand. So I don't have a cohesive strategy. Versus regs, it's a different story. Interesting stats from this player. I'd say they're definitely... no, I guess they just overlumped once. The fact that they still have the broken stack is a little sus. Pocket fours. What happened here? Did this player just drastically overplay bottom end of the boat? Pocket fours are going to be an open. This certainly can be a 3-bet sometimes. This should be here. Yeah, we roll. I mean, I think we're going to be 3-betting this 10% of the time. I have 2 overs. I'm pretty happy just checking this. This is going to be, so this is a big bet board. Pocket fours, I'm happy to just check on when we're using a larger sizing. And they snap check. That could either be weak showdown, all of which beats us, or air. We just check. And the ace comes, they go pretty big. We're just going to call. We are blocking some bluffs. And now we are blocking the nuts, which is good. And we're unblocking their heart bluffs, which I think they have less of. We're just calling here. I don't love that line with King Queen. I would have rather it c-bet, but once the ace comes, their main bluff target goes away, which is ace high. I think so. I'm going to mark this player as blue. Bluffs king high on ace turn, which again, I'm not that good of a poker player, so maybe that's actually just fine. Maybe there's a reason for doing that there. It certainly does line up with their range, but they're going to have more ace X than me. But I think that's just a not very good turn bluff. But they're able to bluff, and I think that's kind of more important. So we are just going to be flatting the king-queen versus an early position open, but from the button, we're going to raise and then call a 3-bet. I'm not anticipating a ton of 3-bets from either of these players. And maybe this player. We've only seen 6 hands. And they look pretty reggy. And I guess, yeah, we've only seen 2 hands from this player. I thought we just had a fish there a second ago, but I guess they swapped out. So what do we have? This player's still looking reggy. This player's still looking reggy. I'm going to start off by just marking this player orange for reg. And we only have 8 hands versus this player, but yeah, we roll high here, so this is going to be an open. Then over here, don't have any reads on this player. Oh, but they have a broken stack. I'm anticipating them being pretty bad, and I don't know about this player. This player min clicks. This is actually a min click. So this player is a fish, unless they just misclicked, but I think it's more likely that they're just a fish. I'm assuming everyone's a fish anyways. Yeah, we're just calling a king 5. We're never folding to that size. There's no card that we ever fold there. We're going to call a c-bet here. They can absolutely have us dominated. They can have ace-queen, so we're not going to put a lot of money in here. They have a ton of ace-x, so we're probably done with this pot now. But if we get to showdown for cheap, great. Love to see it. And this is just such an appealing spot for them to bluff. I think we can probably get called by worse at this point. Yeah. What do they... we can't see what they had. This is so annoying. But this player is a fish. Min raises. Min 3 bets. Yeah, very happy to raise this. They go kind of big here. They are in the big blind, so I guess that makes sense. I'm going to go to 33. I'm going to call off a jam. Maybe I should have gone a little bit bigger here. I'm not sure what to do against this sizing. This can... Yep, we're calling. Good luck us. Fade the queen, fade the queen. Very nice. So over here, I think we're just going to go to 15, 16. Commit this player all in with our ace-jack. I think we get called by worse. Hey, we are running good. Let's just fade the deuce. Very nice. Happy to take L Fishy's money. Yeah, we're running good right now. This player opens to 5. Was there somebody that posted? This might make sense if somebody posted, but I didn't see. Let's see. There's 1.4. No, nobody posted. So blue sizing tell opens to 5BB from. That was from the hijack. This is not going to be a 3-bet from the small blind. Okay, 10-6 is a fold. So what else are we seeing here? So this player This player's actually playing very tight, over 33 hands. They've only V-pipped 3 hands. I'm going to tag them as blue for now. Light blue, that means kind of ice cold. And it's still a little surprising to me when I win a flip. I've been running very bad lately. This player posted. I've been running absolutely terrible. They should be going bigger here. There's so much extra money in the pot. They should be going to at least like 4.5. And I think this player isn't very. And given their pre-flop raising, like they are so strong here. They have ace jack, ace king, ace queen, 100%. Maybe jacks or something. It's only over 35 hands, so it's also just totally possible that okay, this player is being marked as a fish. Yeah, they are limping 33% of hands. This player, we're also going to mark them as a fish as soon as we have the opportunity. This player is limping from early position. They are a fish. What's our read on this player again? Min 3 bets, so they are definitely a fish. This player is limping from early position. This is a standard ISO raising size. Threes we are opening infrequently. So I want to see something like 85 or better. Ace 8, we are going to be opening. No reads on this player. This player is calling way too wide. This is a hand that I think that they will be, they're calling with ace 5, ace 6, where they shouldn't, and this starts making this hand a little bit more appealing. We are going to be c-betting small here. I'm just using 33% or 30% with my range. I think players overfold to this sizing. I'm very happy to see them continue. Especially with this hand, with any luck, they will be raising me, because this is a very... the correct response versus this sizing is to raise a lot, and to call a lot, and to not fold very much. But I think people just overfold to that sizing. This is just below our equity, or below our opening range. Okay, so we're at about 45 minutes, which I think is good for a play and explain. Yeah, not a whole lot. We ran good. I think played our spots pretty well. I'm sure we made some mistakes. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set out next big blind on each of these boards, and we will, well, I guess I just played a big blind here, so we'll do one more rotation. Yeah, they're still using that 5 big blind open size. This player calls, which I don't hate a call here. As people start raising bigger, in theory, this should be more polar. And the correct response versus polar range is not to bluff more. So hands like Ace Queen, I think, become a pretty easy call rather than a 3-bet. King Queen you can call. Versus a player like this, I don't think that they are actually that nutted when they open that big. So King Queen is a call against, like, if I was playing against a stronger player that was like opening, correctly from under the gun. I think that King Queen starts being a fold. But King Jack, like if they're opening 5 big blinds with King Jack, yeah, love it. Like that's barely an open at 2 big blinds. So this player's just making massive mistakes. This is going to be a fold here unless we get a bunch of calls, in which case when we make a flush, we're that much better. Though it's a little tricky because we don't make that good of a flush, and when money starts going in multi-way, you need to have a very strong hand. So I think even if this player calls, we're going to fold. And yeah, this player's in V-pipping a ton. This player's just timing out every hand, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a particularly interesting game if this player's tanking on every preflop decision. So I'm just going to go ahead and... the games are so good. Look at this. Oh, look at that. It's such a good preflop sizing, man. How did you... Yeah. You 3-bet to 5.6 big blinds? That's just so good. It's unexploitable. C-bet's half pot, which I think is a sizing mistake. C-bet's again a half pot, so they're just mashing half pot. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for our little session today. I'll probably be back on with a more intensive session later, playing 4 tables. But it's always good. Yeah, it's always good to go through and just really think about spots. Okay, and just refreshing one last time. So yeah, we ended up, we had a good win rate. I mean, this is only 100 hands. We won some flips. I mean, yeah. This is, and on all in adjusted, we won at, I guess about 20 bigs per 100. So, which is still great. Yeah, anyway, that's it for me.